Hello dear students, welcome to Python programming class. So we are discussing about the graphical user interfaces. So as in the previous classes we discussed many things on the graphical user interfaces. I hope you remember the topics that is covered so far in this chapter. Okay, let me brief you once again related to this graphical user interfaces. So, so this is a graphical user interfaces that is very essential, that is required because it is a user friendly and we can provide some attractive environment to the screen so that user can get attracted and we can control the many things by using the buttons or menus, or we can provide different navigation links and so on. Okay, to create the graphical user interfaces, first of all we required a root window, that is we created by using this importing this kinter module, and this kinter module we are using this tk class object. So that is the object of the tk class, that is the tool kit that is we required for developing an application. And then we are using the tcl, that is a command tool command language. So that we are creating one object of the tk class, then we are invoking the window. So that is the this function, the main loop, that will wait for the different commands. Okay, so this is the window that we created, root window, and we can change this title, and also we can change the logo here, and also we can change the dimensions that we already discussed in the previous classes. Okay, that is the window. Then we have to include the different fonts. Then there are various font styles are available. Okay, we can include the various font style. Then this is the font style by specify. Then you can specify the size, either it is a negative or it can include the positive. If you include the positive, then it will be considered as the points. Then if you use the negatives, then it will be considered as the um, pixels. Then this is the bold, italic, underline, that is the different options that you can provide to the text. Okay, so these are the various list of fonts that are available. Then you can include these functions, then you can get the list of fonts that is available in the python, and various color options that we can provide to the fonts also. Then we discussed about how to work with the canvas and the frames. Okay, canvas are required, that is to provide the working area for various shapes such as the line, polygons, and etc. So different things that you need to include in the program. Then we can use the some other widgets like buttons and menus and all. Then we require the frames. Okay, so we discussed everything about the canvas. So to create the canvas, and then we required an object of the canvas class object. So here the c is the canvas class object that we created. Then root is the root window. Then bg, that you know, we have background color, height, width. Then the shape of the cursor, here the shape of the cursor is like a finger, right? So similarly you can change the shape of the cursor in that also. Then this is about the resolution of the monitor, that is your system. What is the number of maximum number of points that is included to the horizontal line, and what is the number of maximum points that you included to the vertical line. Okay, all these things that we already discussed. Then to create a line, we have to use one function, that is a create line function. Then is then it will create a line with these endpoints. The first vertex 50 50, 250, third vertex like this. Okay, then we can oval shape, that is the rectangular area. Within the rectangular area we are creating one oval. Then the polygon, the number of vertex, that is depends on the points that you are providing. Then it has the different options that we already covered in the classroom. That is width 3. Then fill, what is the fill color? Then the outline, what is then the smooth, that we want to create the smooth edge 1, or the for the 0. Okay, then active fill. Active fill means once you place the mouse cursor, then it will display the particular color that you are providing. Okay, here the light blue color is provided. Then the rectangle function that is used to create the rectangle. Then we the text, have to provide the text, like it's my canvas, so this is the one text that is placed. Okay, then main thing with the canvas is that after creating all these things, you have to add the canvas to the root window. Therefore that you have to use this c dot pack function. Okay, then this is about the arc, chord, and pie slice. That different types of arcs that is required depending on the quadrant. That is the number of angles that your start angle and the extend. If you provide the start angle 90, then extend to 180. 90 means this one. Extend to 180 means 270. So then you will get a arc shape like this. Okay, so depending on the angle that we provided, then we can get the different shapes arc. Okay, then we can include the different photos to our the file. That for that purpose we can use the photo image, and then I can, that is a photo image class created the one object. The file one is a photo image class object. Then we can provide so the different shapes or GIF format that is required. The other format also possible, that already discussed, PGM or TPM format. Then we can include the create image function. Within that create image, you have to include this image equal to file one. That is the file one. Here you created the object. Okay. Then there are different directions to place our um, image. That is you can provide it to the center or in northeast, or you can also southwest, like so these are the different direction that we already discussed. Then here two images are there. The not active image, that means once you place the mouse cursor, then the image that gets changed. Okay, then we discussed about the, okay, this is the same thing. And then frame, we already covered this. Similar to the canvas, we can use the different frames. So frames are similar to the canvas that represent the rectangular area where some text or widgets can be displayed. That means where we can to place some widgets. For example, if you want to place the buttons, where we, what is the location of the button, and then it requires some area. So that is represented by a frame. For that we creating the object of the frame, that is f is the frame. Then you are placing it in the root window. Okay, then this is the frame that we created, the title that we already changed here. Then similar to the canvas, we have to invoke the pack function to attach the frame to the root window. Then there are different widgets are there. Widgets in a GUI component that is displayed on the screen and can be perform the task as the desired by the user. For example, we have already discussed like buttons. Okay, there are various buttons are there, save button, submit button, all those things are there. Then if you want to place all these things, then the main thing that is required is the different widgets. So there are different widgets are there that we'll discuss one by one. We already covered the button. So to create the widgets, then first thing that is required to create the object of different types. Okay, create the widgets that are needed in our program. If you are creating the button, then object of button, button b equal to button f, that is a frame, text equal to, that is what is the text that is to be displayed. Okay, my button. Then after that, what is the action to be performed when you click on that? It is an event. Once you click on particular button, then an event occurs. Then what is the action to be performed? For example, if you click on the submit button, then there is a database connectivity will be there. Then the data is stored. Then you will get one message, that is the data submitted successfully. So like that, you have to create the particular buttons here. It is an action to be performed. Then you have to bind the button with the action. That is, if you want to use a mouse click, then the mouse has the two buttons, right? The button one that indicate the left click, and if you provide the button two, then it indicates the right click. Okay. Okay, this is the buttons we that we created, that we already covered in this topic in the classroom only. Okay, b equal to button, f text my button, width 15, that is height and width, background color, that is the color of then the foreground color, that is for example, if you have the my button is displayed in blue, and background color is yellow. Okay, then active background green, then active foreground color red. That is once you click on that button, then the color change. Okay, here we created the file one equal when the file is created, that is a photo image is created. Then here the button B is created. Then after that we use the bind method. So that is required, and that is very important, the bind method to bind the particular action. Okay, what are the different action that will be performed once you click on that particular button. Okay, here this is the one button that one button is created. B equal to button. It is the Zeta syntax. F is the frame that created. Then what is the action to be performed here? B dot pack, that is added to, button is added to the frame. Then bind the left mouse button with the method to be called. That means once you click on left click, left mouse button, then what is the action we perform? Here the button click, that is the function that we created. You can see here, this is the function we created. So once you click on that left mouse click, and then this message will be displayed, you have clicked me. Okay, then you can clearly observe here my button is that is placed in the center, I guess. My button, yeah, here it is, VG yellow and everything is there. Then if you click my button, then you get this particular, you clicked me, you have clicked me. Okay, because this is the action that we needed once you click on that particular button. Okay, then we can change, do some slight modification related to this matter. Okay, so here we have performed this bind method. So instead of bind method, we can directly invoke the method. Okay, that is to be added with the command option. So command equal to button click, then no need to add particular that bind method. So bind method, it is not necessary. Okay, in the preceding program we want to make two modification. First we will eliminate the bind method. Okay, so here we included the bind method. So instead of this bind method, what we can do that here only we can add comma, then command equal to button click. Okay, then the same action is performed. Okay, no need to include this bind method. Okay, then another one is that we can place all these things in a class. You can place everything within a class. Here we have created an program without the class, right? So we can also possible to create an application using the classes. So using class also we can create the application. Okay, I can clearly observe here. So the two things that we modified here is that one is this one, command equal to button clicks. This self is required because you are using the class, so that you have to use everything is the self dot f and self dot button click or self dot b dot pack. Okay, self, that is the object that identifies the instance object. So what is the object that is created? Okay, that will identified by that only. Okay, self dot f equal to frame. That is, normally we are, if you are not using any classes, then you are generally writing the f equal to frame. But you are using the classes, and within this constructor you are writing all these things. Okay, only the that two modification we have done here. So here included the command option. Command option, that means what is the action to be performed when you click on the particular button. Okay, otherwise you have to use the bind method. So bind method ಅನ್ನು include ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. bind method ಅನ್ನು eliminate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ command option ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಆ command option ಅನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ specify ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. Okay, root equal to that is a root window that we created. Then mb, that is an object is required. My button is the root. Okay, then it will include invoke the particular function. Okay, now suppose sometimes it is required to write the more than one button. Okay, more than one button is required. For that purpose, what we can do that we can write the expressions by using the lambda function. I hope you remember about the lambda. Lambda is the anonymous function, the function without the name. So when you create several buttons, we need to know which button is clicked by the user. For example, if you are using the calculator, I think that is a familiar one program that you already did in the VB. That means you are placing the different buttons. Then the program computer should identify the which button that you are created. If you place the only one button, then it will be easy. Then if you are using the multiple buttons, then what we need to do that we have to place the different names for the particular button. Then based on that name only we can identify the the several buttons. So this will help us to perform the task of depending on the button is clicked. So in this case we have to call a event handler function by passing some argument that represents which button is clicked. Okay, so here one button B1, here we are creating the push button B1. The press observe, please observe this one, lambda. So what is the lambda? Lambda is a function, it is an anonymous function. Here we are using the lambda expression to pass the argument to 1 to the button click. Okay, this is the button click. So what is, which button is pressed here? The button 1. Okay, that is the argument that you are passing. So similarly we can pass the more number of arguments. Okay, here command option allows us to mention the method name only, and it is not possible to pass the arguments to the method. Suppose we have to pass the argument, then you have to use the lambda expression. Okay, here you can clearly observe that the command option that you have to use only the methods. So it is not possible to pass any argument. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವೀಗ ಯಾವುದೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಬಟನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಬಟನ್ 1 ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ 1 ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, 2 ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ 2 ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, 3 ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ಗೆ 3 ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಫಾರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ದಟ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ lambda expressions. Okay, and this program, this is the one small program that is created, a Python program to create 3 push buttons and change the background of the frame according to the button clicked by the user. Okay, so 3 buttons we required, B1, B2, B3. That is the self F, red, text is red here, text green, then text blue. Then self dot button click, the expression, what is the value passed, the command that is a value passed is a 1, and for this the value is passed is 2, then value passed is 3. Then if you the value passed is 1, if num equal 1, so self dot f, the bg, that is a bg color of the frame, where it is frame f equal to bg. Okay, self dot f bg, that is the background color, the option that we need to change is the red, because the button 1 that has the red. Okay, similarly button 2 green. So what is the value we need to pass? If we click on the button 2, the 2 value, right? So either the value is passed to this particular button click function, the num value is 2 now. So if num equal to, the background color is green, you have to set the background color. Okay, then else means if num equal 3, if the button is 3, third button is clicked, then the bg color is changes to blue. So okay, so based on this we have passed the different arguments here. Okay, so you have to pass the different argument, then you have to definitely use this lambda expressions in that command option, because if you don't use the command lambda expression in the command option, then we can only invoke the methods. Okay, we can only invoke the methods, and it is not possible for writing or it's not possible for passing some arguments. Okay, that is a small program that related to the 3 buttons. Okay, next thing is that it is very important, then if you place the many buttons, then it is very essential to arrange the buttons. For example, if you have one button is here, then the calculator, that is in the neatly arrangement, otherwise it is in the random order, right? Okay, there are different layouts are there. One is the pack layout, grid layout, or place layout manager. So different layouts are there. So these different layouts are very essential to provide the arrangement to the buttons. So there are different buttons are there, then we have to arrange it in a neat manner. Okay, for that purpose we are required to arrange the buttons in a very good manner. For that there are 3 layouts are there. We'll discuss one by one. That is, the first one is the pack layout. So this method is useful to associate a widget and its parent component. While using the pack method, we can mention the position of the widgets using the fill or a side option. Okay, there are 2 options will be there. That is a b dot pack fill, b dot pack. That is a pack layout. So fill option can take the values x, y, both none. Okay, here x represents the widget should be occupy the frame the horizontally. Okay, horizontal means left to right, and y that represent the widget should be placed in the vertically. and both represent the widget should occupy the in both direction horizontally and in the equally manner. Okay, none represent the widget should be displayed as it is. Okay, wherever the space is there, it will be displayed. The default option is none, and if you don't provide anything here, the fill option. Okay, so far we are using only b dot pack, only in that much, right? We are not included any other option, so that by default it will take the value none. Okay, this is the pack method, so you can specify with the position by using the fill method or fill option, or by providing the side option. In the fill option, we included the particular the value here, that is fill equal to x and fill equal to y here. Okay, then the different options will be there. Then default value is none. Along with the fill option, we can use the pad x and pad y option that represent the how much space should be left around the component horizontally and vertically. ಅಂದರೆ ಅದರ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ರೈಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಟಾಪ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬಾಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫೆಮಿಲಿಯರ್ ಟು ಯು. ಬಟನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಬಟನ್ನ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ರೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಎರಡು ಮೂರು ಬಟನ್ ಇರುವಾಗ ಮಿಡ್ಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಟನ್ನ ಆ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ 10, ಪ್ಯಾಡ್ ವೈ 10 occupy vertically space on the x axis 10 point and horizontally and y axis on 15 points. Okay, so these are the different other options that we can provide, and if you don't specify any pad x and pad y, that it will directly horizontally or vertically. Okay, here these are the things, that is the b1 dot pad fill equal to y. Okay, so these are the different options that you can specify here. So this is the last two, b3 b4. There is no options, you can clearly observe here that there is no spaces are there. Then here I can clearly vertically, that is vertically, then red, then pad x pad y. Similarly it is the horizontally left to right, then left 10 15. Okay, so these are the different options that we can provide. Similar to the pack option, we can also use the side, which is used to place the widget side by side and can take the values left, right, top, bottom. So ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ x y ಅಥವಾ both none ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ, ರೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ಟಾಪ್ ಬಾಟಮ್, ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಡ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಅಂತ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಫಿಲ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಅಂತ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ side equal to left or side equal to right, or different things that then this is the no options. Generally that is no space, zero space it will take. Okay, here clearly observe, for example first one, side equal to left, side equal to left, side equal to right. Okay, so these are the different options. That is no space that is provided. You can clearly mention the different options for placing the buttons here. Okay, these things that you can work out in the lab, so that we can clearly observe the changes. If you write a small program and then you can change the values. Okay, then you can clearly observe the changes that takes place when you provide the different values. Okay, so that is about the pack layout. Okay students, in this class I explained you about the buttons and how to give the different names to the buttons, and if you are using the different buttons, and what are the different layouts are there. Pack layout is there, grid layout is there. Okay, that second layout, that is a grid layout, and we'll discuss it in the next class. And if you have any doubt related to the today's topic, you can ask the doubt and I will try to solve your doubts. Okay, we'll continue in the next class.